So we're coming to you at 8 o'clock on a Friday morning. You guys will receive this a bit later on, but the first race today out at Fairview is due off at 12:30. So apologies for the delay in bringing you this podcast. It's not normal that we don't speak to Nino on a Thursday night, but we had load shedding last night. There was lots of news. The Queen died last night. Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth. The Paul Peter exit from racing. Quite a bit happening yesterday, Nino Podesta, which we had to digest overnight.
Good morning, Nico. Yes, terrible news about Paul Peter and very sad news about the Queen. And apologies to our viewers. I had an emergency. We were supposed to do the show last night. I had to cancel it. And I know a lot of people like to watch it on the Thursday night because a lot of them work on Friday. So apologies for that.
Yeah, we tried
something that came up.
No, yeah, we try and keep that to a Thursday night as much as we can. And I did apologize on Twitter. And unfortunately, this is only going up on a Friday morning, but hopefully people catch a bit of it. 12:30, we're going to go through your selections, Nino. Thanks very much for sharing your selections with us. We'll run through it as a turf meeting today. So turf racing goes ahead today out at Fairview. And just to let you know that as far as the track is concerned, it is a good track. 22 is the penetrometer. And it is expected to be overcast with a 21 degrees centigrade as the temperature. Let's run through it, Nino. The first race of the day. You can scratch number 12, the last bell. Incidentally, Jean Nel has scratched 3 horses early this morning. And it looks like there's something being harbored in that Jean Nel stable because he's had 3 scratchings early this morning. So I'd tread warily where his horses are concerned for the rest of the day. Blinkers go on number 6, Danny Boy. It looks like an open first race, Nino, to open up this maiden 1400. You fancy the 11, Survivorman, to be the winner?
Yes, I do. I think that's the horse to beat, Nico. 2 good runs. He's had 2 good runs, and the last one was a fair run behind Absolute Noir. I think the 1400 is going to suit him down to the ground, being by Karari. So, and with all due respect to the field, it's not a very strong field. And I think it's definitely the horse to beat. I have to mention number 10, Nico, because I never saw it when I did my selections. And that's definitely going to come up in my selections. And I'm actually going to tip 10 to run second. I make that the biggest danger. I remember this horse last time. It was supposed to run on the turf meeting. It was the turf was it wasn't postponed. It was changed to Polly. This is there was lots of money, and this also had a big reputation. And it's a big son of Rafib, a long striding horse. And the Polly just did not suit the horse at all. You've got to keep an eye out. I think the 1400, the long straight, is going to suit this horse. And I make him the biggest danger to number 11.
Okay, so your top choices there will be 11 Survivorman and 10 Badge of Honor. You originally tipped the 8 to run second, Horsey, who's been very disappointing to follow, certainly in his last 2 starts. And then number 3, Chasing Cheaters, from the same yard as the winner, or the horse that you expect to win, number 11, Survivorman.
Yeah, and then Nico, I think Horsey might just be better. People might want to give him another chance on the turf. He's had excuses. Last couple of runs, things didn't pan out his way. So, let's just see if he can improve on the turf. But and then obviously keep an eye out on number 1 now is a bit of a worry with Juan now scratching his horses, Global Mark, but definitely number 7, Admiral Chance. He's also been very disappointing, and I don't think he's run on the turf. All his runs have been on the Polly. Let's see how he does on the turf. But definitely 11 the horse to beat and 10 Badge of Honor. Just you can have a look at the betting on Badge of Honor. Is there any money for it?
Yeah, there is. It was 8 to 1. It is now 5 to 1. So there's been some money overnight for number 10 Badge of Honor. The favorite is 18 to 10 Survivorman. So
yeah, and
are dominating the market.
You also got to remember that Badge of Honor, like I said, did not like the Polly at all, but it also ran behind quite a good Cape Raider from the Candice Best stable. in Matsuyama. You remember that raider from Cape Town?
Okay, so 11 and 10, Nino expects this morning to fight out the first. The second is the start of the place accumulator. Race 1, by the way, is the start of the bipod. We'll give you some bipod numbers to take a bit later. But race 2, compression mask on number 1, Magic Moments, and no blinkers for number 5, Japan Approval. Looks to be the case there. It's a 2,000-meter maiden for fillies and mares, and they're tipping number 3, Mantsaraya, all over the place as the horse to beat. You're in agreement?
Yes, I am, and I think they got the beating spot on. I think that's a horse to beat. 2 good runs, 1 over course and distance. She was just beaten off a length by Edgestone. She's got some horses beaten on that form. And Nico, to be honest with you, I make the dangers Magic Moments and Golden Grace. I really can't see anything else there. And I want to leave the last word for you. Japan's Approval. With all due respect, I wouldn't let people put place money on it.
Well, I see now they've taken the cheek pieces off. They put blinkers on. Yeah, the less said the better from my side. I mean, look, she's had her chances, but she's got. I mean, Mantsaraya's got her beat, hasn't she, on the Wildest Dreams run? Although not everything went her way. Saddle slipped, it says there. Just been very costly to follow.
But she's got the beat on the reflex.
Yeah, and on the
run behind the reflex.
Yeah, and on the run behind the reflex. Look at that, well beaten. Anyway, no, we'll move on swiftly. Race 3 is the start of the pick 6. It's a fillies and mares 66 handicap. It's over 2,000 meters. Let's bring you up to date with the changes in the third. Compression mask on number 4, Get It Done, and on number 8, Duchess Bernadette. Cornell collar goes on the 11, Miss Jacqueline. Now here you're tipping Wildest Dreams, who seems to have come very well. She hardly puts her foot wrong in her races, and she gets Samanga Kamalo back on. I thought she would have won last time out. She was just touched off.
Yeah, she was just touched off. I think he left her with a little bit too much to do. I think she'll be better over the turf, and I believe she's definitely a big runner in this race. But you know, if she flaps her line, then it becomes wide open, and I give chances to Master Screen if she sees at the distance, but been by Master of My Fate out of a Western Winter mare, Tamora. It shouldn't be a problem, the 2,000 meters. And then this also that I keep on going every week, Orion of Address. I think that could cause a big upset back on the turf. You know, he ran his best race on the turf over 18 when he ran third to Winter Scout. His last 3 runs on the poly, I think you can just put a line through it. I don't think he enjoyed the poly at all. That, for people that are going wide, I would add that in. Horses like Wintertime could win. Get It Done could win. Maria's World having the first round on the turf. Wasn't that the extra cock horse?
Yes, it was. Yeah, she's having her first run on the turf there, and she wasn't bad. She wasn't bad. She's got a horrible draw to contend with, but it's not that bad up on the turf track.
No, the draw's not that bad on the PE turf. Yeah. It's got an 800 meter straight, so
yeah,
they can overcome the draw. Please, Nico, if you take Wildest Dream away here, it becomes wide open, and people that are going wide, if they're not taking the field, you've got to put Wildest Dream, the Screen, Maria's World, Get It Done, Miss Otis, even.
Now hang on. Now you're talking. There's a horse that jumped out at me, Miss Otis, 33 to 1. I make that a runner. No, it was with the Azzies. It was with Michael and Adam Azzi, Miss Otis. I make that a runner. Strange to say that. Yeah. I make that a runner today at 33 to 1. I think that's got an each way chance.
I definitely agree. If Wildest Dream gets beat, then anything could
but Wildest Dream is the popular choice, and I think you have to go for her with her form. Samanga rode treble yesterday for his good mate Baron Boertis, Mr. B as he calls him. But yeah, they had a good day yesterday. Okay. That's race 3. Let's move to the 4th, which is a merit-rated 92 handicap. It's over a mile. Race 4 is the start of the first jackpot. Here, no tongue tie for number 4, Stone Cold. And your top choice is this horse, Waiting for Summer. Now, I'm so interested you've tipped this, because I had a chat to Gavin Fenter on one of my visits to Port Elizabeth. I pulled him aside when this horse ran. I think it was not its last run, the previous run behind Irish Rain. And I asked him if he liked it. And he said, Nico, I'm waiting with this horse. And I then said to him, are you waiting for summer? He said, no, I'm waiting for the turf.
You know what, Nico? Gavin Fenter thinks just like me. When I saw this horse run first time out behind Irish Rain, I said 1800, 1900, too far. It's not its game. I'm waiting for this horse to come over the 1600 on the turf. And what happened? I make this the best bet on the card, Nico. I cannot see this horse getting beaten. And I'm so confident that summer will come sooner than people think.
Right now, this is 3-1 at the moment. I think that there was a bit of 4-1 available yesterday, but it's now 3-1. And you're tipping this as your best bet?
Definitely. I cannot see it getting beaten. Nico, the run behind Herodotus last time on 1900 on the poly, 2-4. But behind Herodotus was a horse called First Street that came and ran, just got beat by Santa Teresa, and there was a winner behind it. I can't remember now. Never Ending Rain.
Yes,
was in that race.
Yeah.
And that came out to win. And but it's not just that. Nico, I earmarked this horse when it first ran on the poly, and I said 1600 meters on the turf, it will never get beaten.
Okay.
And so, you know, I'm sticking with my guns. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but I've got to give the people confidence. And you know, that's all I can do. I think it's a big runner. I think it will win, but I've been wrong before.
Yep, Waiting for Summer to beat Ferrari Ice, who Nino's tipped for second. Third to the other Smith horse, You Know Who, and fourth to Tarantino. But you can't get more confident than that. And let's hope that that obliges for Nino. Race 5.
And also, Nico, quickly, for those that are playing quartets and trifectas, Gavel Strike.
Yes.
That in your quartets and trifecta.
That's number 6, Gavel Strike, to be entered for all the other trifecta and quartet players. Don't leave Gavel Strike out. Let's move to race 5. Now, there is an important scratching here in race 5. It says number 4, Irish Willow, who Nino originally tipped for third, but I've promoted number 7 now, Sacred Lotus, into that third position, when you'll see the bipots as well when we do them. The other changes in race 5, just blinkers go on number 9, Heart's Ease. That's a blinker strike today, number 9, Heart's Ease. But you are tipping number 3, Go Lightly, who you've been for before on the show. You think that she will win this fifth?
Well, Nico, I make this a bit of a trappy little race, but Go Lightly is my first choice. Penultimate run over the 1800. I think you called that race with Greg Sheen on, and she never settled in the race.
Yeah, she didn't. That's right. I did call that race. Yeah,
you remember?
Yeah, she was never comfortable that day.
And I also think that the 1800 was maybe just a little touch too far for her. She's got brilliant form over the 1600. She's got to be a runner. And with the scratching of Irish Willow now, I think that Wings of Fire could be the main danger. I'm keeping an eye on a horse called Sacred Lotus. Now, that was Paul Peter.
That was with Paul Peter, yeah, it was. Yeah.
And this horse will improve over the 1600. And then I'm pushing up number 6, Sweet the Sound. I think maybe that could also be a runner. So Go Lightly, my first choice. Dangers would be Wings of Fire, Sweet the Sound, and Sacred Lotus. And also, you know, people must always respect Alan Greer. Horses like Princess Khaleesi's can pop up at any time, and Calandra as well. So it's either people got to decide how many horses they want to go in the exotics. If they're going wide, I would just about go the field here. Except I can't see Sweet and Spicy winning. And the hot seas, I think, will need the run. And the Tudor, I think she's out of her class here. So it's either field or you'd narrow it down to 3, 5, 6, and 7.
Yeah, just with regard to Wings of Fire, when I spoke to Sharon Kotzen at the sales, she mentioned the source, but of course that meeting was abandoned before Wings of Fire ran. She was quite confident that Wings of Fire would give a good account of herself there. So Wings of Fire to be.
And was that a poly meeting? It was a poly meeting.
Yeah, it was correct. It was abandoned.
Yeah, but you see, that's the problem. This was it's the best form on the poly, and it's turf today. But she did run third to Integrity.
Yeah, but I think she's a versatile filly mare now, and I think she's got a chance. Okay, we'll move on to race number 6 if we can. It's a classified stakes over 1,600 meters. Incidentally, yesterday's 2 classified stakes races in Joburg, both were won by fillies. Both were won by fillies yesterday, interestingly enough.
Yeah, that was Mirren, wasn't it?
Yeah, Mirren was one of them, and the other one, I forget now, but there are no fillies and mares in this classified stakes race. I wonder when the Port Elizabeth training community are going to find out that they get a good weight pull. But anyway, let's move on swiftly to the no changes in the 6 race, but your selection is Il Lungo, and you've tipped this as the each way better the day.
Nico, this is another horse I've been waiting to come over the 1,600 on the turf. And again, it's happened. And, you know, I just get goosebumps when I think about things like this. Last time out, 1,300 on the poly was too short. The time before that, he was outclassed behind Cholima, and the 2-4 was too far. And I said to myself, I'm waiting for this horse to come over 1,600 on the turf, and that's exactly what's happening tomorrow. I make this a huge runner at 14-1. I cannot believe the price on this horse. So
yeah, well, it isn't actually anymore. I've seen that it is now 7-1.
Wow!
This morning it was 12. I'm getting it that it was 12 or 12.5-1, so very close to 14-1. I'm seeing 7-1 now being banded around about Il Lungo, 7-1.
Well, well, that's my first choice, Nico. The dangers, I think, my boy Reese, that could be the danger. Well drawn back over the 1,600 on the turf. Gold Strike always has to be respected. It's got good form, and if you like Gold Strike, you've got to give Seattle Beat a chance. And that's about all that I can see here. Maybe Dirty Martini could cause an upset, but Il Lungo, my confident first choice again.
Okay, on to race 7, the feature, the 1,000-meter Speedster Stakes up the straight. Race 7, scratch number 6, What a Winner from the Jean Nel yard. Here, Blinkers go on number 9, Evie's First, which is another of the inmates of the Jean Nel yard. And number 10, Cruise Control will race with a compression mask. I see you've tipped Cruise Control for 3rd, behind Inherit the Rain, who, well, last time out, everyone was on this, and it ran 5th. It was well beaten, 2 lengths, but it's back up the straight today. Your feelings on, we should keep on following Inherit the Rain, must we?
Yeah, Nico, all I can say is that the winner will come from one of those 3 horses, and that I'm 100% confident. I would like to promote the 10 up, because I know that the 2 is short of fitness. If you remember last time, whatever next was supposed to run in the same race that Inherit the Rain was in, and it was scratched. The horse had developed an abscess on his hoof, and Alan is a week short on work for this horse, so he might be in need of this run, but he's definitely got ability. So, my selection would be 1 in 10. I don't know in what order. 1 in 10 to fight it out. Whatever next danger, keep an eye out on Captain Opie. There was lots of talk of it about this horse last time. And I said to you, the 1,200 too far. This is a 1,000-meter horse back on the turf. And also, another horse is Light That Blue. So I don't know what's happened to that, but this used to be a good horse. This Glenn Kotzen horse. Let's see how he goes.
And what about Stranger Danger? Isn't that a 1,000-meter specialist?
It is, but it prefers the poly. And this is a horse, you know, I was worried about Inherited Terrain over the 1,000 until I saw Stranger Danger. This horse is going to run to suit Inherited Terrain.
Yeah.
He's going to go fast up front, and he's going to be gasping for air 100 meters, and that's when Inherited Terrain is going to be swooping down on them. Look, that last run of Inherited Terrain, you must put a line right through there. We don't criticize jockeys and we don't make excuses. I'm not criticizing the jockey. I just think he got it wrong. He came out slow, and he pulled the horse down to the back, and then instead of switching him to the outside and coming for a run, he came back down the inside on the rail, and I think Kumalo got it wrong.
Okay.
Not his fault. I'm not blaming him. I just think he made the wrong decision.
Okay. But so you think Inherit the Rand, the right horse to beat whatever next, you promoted the 10, actually, Cruise Control to second, then whatever next, and you put an Opie in the mix too there.
And a question mark on Light That Loose. If that horse comes back to his best.
Question mark on the 7, Light That Loose. Okay, the 8th and last is off at 25-5, and fillies and mares 62 handicap. It's over 1,200 meters. Into the last of the day, and no scratchings here. Cheek pieces go on number 11. On Atilia has cheek pieces on in the last of the day. Your selection here is number 7, Southwester. Again, Samanga Kamala to beat the stable companion 6 Bouquet, and third, the 14, Conquer the World, with 4th, 2, Miami Beach. So you're going for Southwester again?
Yes, I'll give it a chance. I like 4 horses in this race. I like 2, 6, 7, and 14. Those are my top 4. And I think Southwester will, last time drawn 14 out of 15 over the 1100 was a bit too sharp. She's going to love the 1200 straight. Kamala up. She's got to be a runner. Bouquet is good form. She ran in front of Southwester, but I think Southwester will turn that form around. She was drawn 5 out of 15. Southwester was drawn 14 out of 15. So I think Kamala will turn the form with a 6. Miami Beach won first time out over course and distance, and then third to Conquer the World. So there should be nothing between those two. Well drawn at 17, and then Conquer the World. I can't believe the horse is 14-1. It's got to have a massive chance.
Yeah.
13.
She always flashes up late, doesn't she? Conquer the World.
She does. That one run when she ran 4th to Narcos. Very unlucky. 2 strides past the post, she wins by 2 lengths.
Yeah. Okay, so
that's it.
Okay, that's the talk in the last race. I think Conquer the World will have to have a chance. We've mentioned Miami Beach as well. Yeah, Conquer the World. Let's just have a look. Conquer the World. What price is she in the last race? Because she's always been a horse that we followed here. 10-12-1. Conquer the World, number 14. So it's definitely one that we'll put up in our perms as well. Now we're going to move on to the all-important buy pot for today, which starts in the first race. And then after that, we'll go on to the best and the value bets for the day. So Nino, take us through your buy pot. Do you want to alter the numbers in any way? You've took one for 36 Rand, but you can change it now.
Yeah, I'm going to make it 72 Rand because I'm adding number 10 in the first leg. So the first leg is 10 and 11. I've written it down here in the book. 10 and 11.
Okay, 10 and 11 on the first.
Right, then in the small perm, for the small players, banker number 3. For the bigger players, I would suggest to add either 1 and 4 or both. 1, 3, and 4. But I'm confident the 3 should run in the first few. Then I'm putting in Wildest Dreams, I'm putting in Master's Queen, and I'm adding in Ryan of a Dross, but Miss Otis I would like to add in, number 5.
Yeah, so 1, 2, 5, and 9. Then Miss Otis is a common horse that both Nina and I like. So add in the 5 at a huge
Maybe
price.
Even the 4, Get It Done. What do you think of Get It Done? Did you speak to...
No, I haven't spoken to Sharon or to Greg. But yeah, I think if you're going wide there and you want to try and beat Wildest Dreams out, I don't know if you can beat Wildest Dreams out the buy pot, but if you can, 1, 2, 4, 5, and 9 for bigger players there. Then you're bankering your horse weight.
No, definitely. Banker waiting for summer. I would banker that in the pick 6 if I played one.
Yeah.
The next leg, You've added the 7. You took the 4 out.
Yeah, well, the 4 is a scratching, so I didn't want to just get the total favor. So I went 3, 5, and 7 there.
Right.
You might
Maybe
want
we
to add
should
in
add
for
the
bigger
6
players,
in
the 6. You might want to add in
Yes.
the 6 as well for bigger players.
3, 5, 6, and 7. And then the last leg, 1 Bowl Strike, Seattle beat number 2, number 3 Ilungo. And then I added 1 more, number 11, obviously, my boy Reese.
My boy Reese. But knowing you, smaller players might banker Ilunga because you're quite confident it'll run well.
Yeah, for those that are wanting to play an aggressive firm, then a banker Ilungo, and then take another one and cover it, just in case.
Nino's best bet of the day. He couldn't be more confident. It's coming up in race 4. It's number 5, Waiting for Summer. You can get 3 to 1 on a Friday morning, but I'm sure that there'll be money for this during the course of the day. The value bet is in race 6. It's number 3, Ilunga, currently quoted at 7 to 1. Nino's joined us on a Friday. Thanks very much. Again, apologies to everyone for this going out a little bit later than normal, but at least we spoke to the good man himself. And well done again for last week. I didn't congratulate you, but I did publicly on Twitter because you're our star when it comes to PE racing. There's no other better person in the country that does a fine job as you. And we've got a lot of our followers that wait for your podcast every day. I mean, including the compliment that you got last week where you tipped all the winners within your first 2 selections, which was excellent going for all the 9 races.
Yeah, and, you know, we could have cleaned them up last week because I could have caught the pick 6 for 8 rand with my 3 bankers in the middle and 2 by 2 by 2. And, yeah, you know, probably fortunate, I don't know, but we tipped all 9 winners in our first 2 selections, which I think was not bad. If I just switched them around, I would have had all 9 winners.
Absolutely. You should be doing, you should revert to doing maybe straight line PAs.
But you know that, Nico, on top of that, we tipped the 2 exactors, the one with number 10, Nslabini and I Am Dancing. And we tipped the exactor in the last race with Princess Debs and the Richard Porrimount, number 3 and 4. I forget the name of the horse. And then we also tipped the Quartet in the 2nd race. But it was, people could have made some good money if they played it right.
Wonderful. Yeah, it's great to have you on. Always good chatting to you. Our next meeting, I think, comes up only next Friday. But all the best to you for today, Nina. Thanks for your time. And have a great weekend. We'll chat to you later.
Yeah, Nico, and don't forget, summer's coming soon. Sooner than you think.
Yeah, sooner than we think. Let's hope it's this afternoon. Cheers. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, Nico.